Hey guys, welcome to episode 5 of Teens and Faith Catholic Conversations. I'm your host Annie, and I am joined by my co-host Gianna.
Hey, what's up?
So before we get into this week's episode, we wanted to start off with our prayer. O Saint Philomena, Virgin and Martyr, pray for us that, through thy most powerful intercession, we may obtain that purity of mind and heart which leads to the perfect love of God. Amen.
Amen.
So Gianna, what do we have coming up this episode?
We are going to talk about the seven sacraments. Like we said again, it more so be stories. I mean, we're not defining them or anything. And then talk about a few other things, and we'll interview another team.
So first, we're going to tell you guys what we've been up to. So I start school tomorrow.
Oh no.
That'll be pretty fun. I like all my subjects for the most part this year, I guess, except math because I hate math, but that's okay. Some people love it. And I went to the lake for the day today. And that was pretty fun. My brothers buried themselves in the sand, so we took some funny pictures of that. But yeah, and then Father Brueggemann is coming over to our house tomorrow night because he's coming up to say mass, so that'll be pretty fun.
We haven't been up to much. Father Brueggemann actually came over to our house for dinner Saturday night. So that was a lot of fun. He stayed over for a while. And today my uncle came over with his girlfriend, and we were kind of just goofing around at the house. And my brother Bennett, my youngest brother Bennett, he rolled himself up in a blanket, like kind of like one of those pigs in a blanket sort of thing. And
Yeah.
he rolled himself up in that. And my dog Rocky came over and he was like sniffing him. So my uncle and my brother Elias decided, hey, let's put some peanut butter on Bennett so Rocky can start licking him. So
Oh
that's
no.
what they did. And luckily, Bennett was laughing the whole time, but then he had to go shower afterwards. So he wasn't too happy about that part.
That would be pretty funny to see, honestly.
Yes. So my dad actually wanted me to do the shout out. So my dad also has a YouTube channel called Shrewd Manager Christianity. What he does is he talks about the shroud and kind of explains it. And he gives arguments on why you could believe that it's real, and he also does some where you could believe it's not real, and it's a whole bunch of stuff like that. We'll actually have him on in a later episode. So, and he can probably talk about that more and how he started it. But yeah.
Yeah, I've actually seen most of his videos. I think I still have to watch his newest one, but they're really good. Super informative about the shroud. Like I didn't even know half of this stuff before I watched your dad's channel. And we'll put his channel link in the description below.
Yeah. Also, the Feast of the Assumption just recently occurred. And we just wanted to know what you guys did for it. I went to Mass, and I know a lot of you don't have that readily available. So if you did anything fun or, crafts or something for it, we just wanted to know what you did.
Yeah, my family, we woke up and baked pancakes. That was fun. And then we did a little Mary craft. So you like colored Mary and then the angels. This is mostly for the little kids. And then you like made a little slit in the paper and like put a little long piece of paper in kind of, and you like glued Mary onto the long piece of paper and you could like assume her into heaven. It was pretty cool for the
Oh,
little
that's
kids.
cool.
Yeah. So we actually do have one more shout out to give, and this is to our friend Nico. Shout out if you're listening. Hi. He said he loves the podcast. So yeah, hi Nico. And then we did want to talk about one more thing before we get into the seven sacraments. So we are going to do a little art contest. So how it's going to work is if you want to be in the contest, you can draw a picture of Saint Philomena and then you can send it into our email teensandfaith@gmail.com. And please get these pictures into us by September 13th. And on the September 20th episode that's going to come out on the 20th, we will show the pictures. And then Gianna and I will judge, and the winner of the art contest will get to come on Teens and Faith if they want to. So, yeah, that'll be pretty fun. I know some little girls at my church were already drawing pictures of St. Philomena for that. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be exciting. If any of you want to come on, be interviewed, just send in a picture of Saint Philomena. And yeah, we can't wait to see you.
Yeah. So now we're gonna talk a little bit about the seven sacraments, or at least some of them, because Gian and I are not qualified at all to define them or do anything like that. So we're gonna just talk a little bit about the seven sacraments, and then we'll tell some stories behind them and kind of what it's like to receive the seven sacraments as a mission kid, because like obviously we don't get to receive them as frequently as non-mission kids. So
Mhm.
we'll talk about that a little bit.
So what I collected was on baptism and um, kind of what you do for it, especially if you're a godparent. Some of the stuff you would need to know for it. I collected all of this information from a book called "Is It a Saint's Name" by Father William Dunn. So, in case you were wondering, but all right. So baptism obviously is the most important of the sacraments, which is why it's the first one and why we're starting off with it, because without it, we can't enter heaven. So in baptism, we are um, one, free from original sin, two, we become children of God and are very dear to Him in a special way. Three, we become Christians, like participants in all the great things Christ has communicated to mankind, and for we become heirs to the kingdom of heaven. Infants, one thing, infants should be baptized as soon as possible after they are born. In no case should a month elapse between birth and baptism. And obviously, a lot of you might not have priests like readily available, like to do that. But the priest will take care of that, like no problem with that. But and for godparents, I know some of you might be godparents, some of you might be going to become a godparent, or some of you might not. But even in the future, if you ever do become one, this would be information you might be able to use. So one godparent is required, two are permitted, no more than two sponsors. And sponsor and godparent are interchangeable words, like they mean the exact same thing. And if a sponsor can't be there, a proxy will act in his place. So a proxy is just a replacement. But one thing I did recently discover, which I found actually kind of interesting. So if any of you become parents in the future, um, I read this that you should be careful in choosing names for your child. Like, for example, if a father gives his own name to his son and the designation of junior, he may be giving his son an unhappy nickname that will like cling to him for life. Like his son may be known as young Joe and him the father as old Joe long before he may deserve it. So I was like, actually, that's pretty interesting to know. And I probably would not name my child Junior.
Yeah, me neither.
um, and let's see. So for a godparent, when you become a godparent, you are agreeing to take a lasting interest in the life and welfare of the child. So it is a big responsibility, but not as big as the parent's job. But if the parents neglect or are unable to provide Catholic education for the child, the godparent must do so as far as possible. And I know some of you, maybe if you're like 14 or something and you're a godparent, you're like, well, I can't really do that. Well, if even if you visit your godchild, or you're able to communicate with them every so often, you should make sure that they're doing all the right things, staying being raised in the Catholic faith. um, the sponsor must be baptized, have attained the use of reason, and have the intention of being a sponsor. That is a big one too, having the intention of because if you don't have the intention, you're not going to succeed at your job very well. I mean, you have to have the intention of being a sponsor. um, the sponsor must also be sedevacantist Catholic. The father or mother cannot be the sponsor, and neither can a religious, such as a nun, priest, bishop, etc. Um, the godparent must also be approved by the parents or the guardians or by the minister of baptism. So he needs to know the rudiments of the Catholic doctrine and since the godparent has a spiritual obligation toward the child, those best informed in the faith and most exact in its practice are to be the preferred sponsors. So, just some information if any of you might need that in the future. But
Yeah, that's all really good stuff, Gianna. So, kind of going off of baptism, like you said, that it's really important to get your infants baptized right away. But if you don't have a priest available, then you might not be able to. So, my older brother Elias, like I've mentioned before, wasn't baptized till he was 4 months old. But when he got baptized, my parents had to drive out to some random person's house, like 4 hours away or something. And Elias was a really big baby. He was like 18 pounds by the time he was like 4 months old. And he was like really tall too. Like when he was first born, they called him like 2 feeder because he was 24 inches. Like
holy
he was
smokes.
super big. Yeah. And now he's like 6 feet tall. So it makes sense. But, anyways, so the godfather that my parents picked for Elias had a back injury. And he was not able to hold Elias during his baptism. And we didn't have any women at our little mission at that point, so nobody could have held Elias. So my mom had to hold him, and he was like I said, he was 18 pounds. So my mom said she was like struggling to hold Elias throughout this entire baptism because he was also getting baptized with another baby. But this baby blew out of his baptism outfit.
Oh no.
So yeah, they were just like all sweating, and one of the babies is covered in poop, and it was really bad. But I actually stood in as a godparent for a baptism about a year ago
Oh,
because my mom wasn't able to make it. So I got to stand in for that. So that was pretty cool. And can I just say this baby did not cry at all? So,
what?
yeah, she was a perfect
How?
little angel. I don't know. She was an angel. It was crazy.
So for the Sacrament of Penance, I remember when I first was about to receive it, honestly, I was terrified. Um, but
Makes sense.
yeah, I think everyone would be. I mean, you're confessing your sins to someone else, like for the very first time. You're like, but I do remember it being very quick and easy. Like when I went in there, the priest was just like so easygoing and everything, and he was just like, "Okay, this is what you do," and then gives
Hmm.
me my penance afterward, and I'm like, "Oh, that is actually easy and
Yeah.
relieving."
I remember when I had my first confession, like I said, it was in a room like right by my hall. So I'll always remember that, which is pretty cool. And then so so the first time I went to a actual like really big church, it was about like 5 hours away from where we're at. Um, the bishop was up at that church, and so we had to go into like, a traditional like confession place. Because like right now we just for the longest time we just like had it in rooms, so the priest would sit on a chair, and then now we have a little like confession area kind of type thing. Anyways, and I thought like the second you went in there, you were just supposed to start talking. So like I was kneeling there and I just started talking. So I did my confession twice because I didn't realize the bishop wasn't listening the first time because he was with somebody else. And my dad and brother thought the same thing. Like we had no idea. So yeah, that was pretty funny. And that
I
this
do.
actually happened a year ago, so that's pretty embarrassing, but it's
Oh,
okay.
wow. I do actually remember doing that one time. At my church, there's a small back room that we have for the confessional, and only one person goes in there at a time, but obviously. But
Yeah.
I mean, the first time we went to like a bigger church where there's a lot more people, they had like the box or whatever where you can fit two people in at a time, but then the bishop or priest like slides the thing inside, so
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay, now I'm ready to listen to you. Well, the first time, yeah, I did the same thing. I did my confession twice because he wasn't listening. But as I was talking, I just started saying this stuff because I wasn't sure if he was actually listening or not. And all of a sudden I hear him and he's sliding the thing over and he's like, I'm still with the other person. Can you just wait a minute? And I'm like, oh no, I'm sorry. But yeah.
So now we're gonna talk a little bit about communion and just some stories behind it. So
I honestly I don't remember receiving communion as well. I don't know if I was just less scared or something. Oh no, actually I do remember. being scared to receive it because I was like, I was told you couldn't chew it. And I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to swallow that thing? And I'm like freaking out. I'm like, what if I start choking on it? But then I can't spit it out because that would no. And so I so then the priest was telling me, he was like, don't worry, it just melts on your tongue. And
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, really? So then he was nice enough to take me back after mass one day, and he had me practice with one that wasn't like blessed yet or anything. And so he put it on my tongue, and then I swallowed it, like it melted right away and everything. And I was like, wow, that is so much easier. So I was
Yep.
like, yeah, it is a lot nicer when you have the priest that's just like, oh, okay, no, just this is what you do and everything. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's how my priest was. So, like I said, I got my first communion in a Laquita. That was pretty cool. Um, so recently, about a year ago, I got diagnosed with celiacs, if any of you guys know what that is. So, celiac disease is an autoimmune disease where I can't eat gluten, and I'm not allergic to gluten. My body just cannot digest it, and when I eat gluten, my body starts attacking itself. So I'm like super like I cannot have even like little particles of gluten. So like let's say you made pasta and you used a spatula like to make it not a spatula. What are they called? I don't know, the little grabby things. And
Oh,
you
yeah, the
used it
tongs or whatever.
maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
And
Something.
you yeah, something like that. And you used it to make your gluten pasta and then you tried to make gluten-free pasta for me with that same little tool, I would get super sick. And like if I used a plate that one of my brothers used to have a sandwich with gluten bread and then I put my gluten-free bread on it, I would get super sick. So like I cannot have any gluten at all whatsoever. So when I first got diagnosed with celiacs, my first thought was like, what about communion? Because obviously we know it is the body of Jesus, but it appears as bread. So there is still, gluten in it. And we asked Father McKenna about it, and my whole plan was like, it's okay. Like Jesus won't get me sick. It'll be fine. Like, it's just gonna be fine. And that's actually what happened. So my mom asked Father McKenna if he could like break the host into smaller pieces for me. And I haven't gotten sick from taking communion since like a year ago. So
Wow.
it's really cool. Yeah. My priests are always super good about breaking the host for me, which is awesome.
That's nice. Yeah.
And my little brother Benjamin and then my little sister Mary both have celiacs, but Mary's not old enough to take communion yet. And the priest also breaks it for Benjamin, so super nice. Shout out to the SGG priests. You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to talk a little bit about confirmation and getting confirmed. So, this is another kind of embarrassing story. So, when I got confirmed, it was only about 2 years ago because Bishop McGuire came up and did a mass confirming. Like, I got confirmed with like 7 year olds. Actually, Gianna's cousins, I got confirmed with them. So, we didn't know that there wasn't a test when you got confirmed. I mean, there might be at bigger churches, I don't know, but we were all under the impression that there was a test. So we're like preparing for this test for our like confirmation. And we see a girl go back to take to get confession. So me and my brother start panicking and we're like, oh my goodness, it's the test. We're all gonna fail. We don't know if we can get confirmed. What's gonna happen? And then there it turns out there wasn't a test, so we were all freaking out for nothing. But yeah, that was pretty funny. And my mom, when she got confirmed, because Bishop Dolan came up to confirm the adults when I was probably like 5-ish. So they all thought there was a test too, so they were scared about that. But and then also another little story about Bishop Dolan. So in the house that they were getting confirmed in, they said like a full rosary, like so they said all 3 decades of the rosary, and it was a hardwood floor, and Bishop Dolan just knelt on the hardwood floor the whole time without flinching at all. And my mom, like after that rosary was done and after mass was done, she was like, "Did anybody else see Bishop Dolan just kneeling there without like moving at all? Like I was being a little baby about it. How did he just do that?" So that was pretty cool.
That is funny. Yeah. That is really cool how he can do that. So when I was confirmed with one other girl from my church. And all right, so this is kind of embarrassing. But I was young at the time, okay? Um,
It's okay. We're mission kids, so like we didn't really know what that was like, you know?
but okay, so I was confirmed by Bishop Dolan. And I remember specifically, like, before confirmation, I was told, oh, he's going to give you like a little slap on the cheek, right? Well, by the time by the time I got up there to be confirmed, I had forgotten about it. So I got up there and all of a sudden he slaps me. And everyone would think, oh, like the first thought you would think came to my mind was, oh, what did I do? I'm so sorry. No, the first thought that came to my mind was, why are you slapping me? And I started getting mad. I was like, what? Why did he slap me? And I'm like, oh, he was supposed to. And I was, so yeah, that's my story. I got mad at the bishop, please don't. It was so bad. But yeah, so I didn't yeah, I had a little too much pride there.
And it's not even a slap, it's like a pat on the cheek.
I know, but so I don't know. I had a lot of pride.
I mean, you were also a little kid, so I could see how that scared you. When Sammy, because Sammy's my older brother, he's 11. When he was getting confirmed, he was like scared too. Like you could even kind of like see him like back his face away a little bit. And Bishop McGuire was like super nice. It was just like a little pat on the cheek. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was it was pretty funny. So we have one more sacrament to talk about, which is matrimony, because we don't really know about holy orders or extreme unction, so we're not going to talk about those. But my mom and dad got married in a trailer because they didn't have a big church to go to.
Mhm.
So, and the priest who was marrying them had a very thick accent. So my mom couldn't really understand anything he was saying. So my mom was like, I don't know when he told us we were married. I just know it happened. And I was like, okay. And then they went to like a green mill after they got married. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just kind of funny how that's how like mission people get married. Like sometimes you can't go up to a big church because at that point in time my mom and dad had just converted. So they didn't really know that there was other Catholics out there. Like I remember my dad saying when him and his friends converted right out of high school, they were like, we're the only Catholics left in the world. We're lone wolves. Like so they legit thought they were the only ones because that was still before the internet. So they didn't know. And then they like talked to a set of contest priest and he like laughed and was like, you guys are not the only ones, but okay. So yeah.
Mhm. It's funny, it wasn't exactly the same, but I do remember I think I was about 4 when my aunt and uncle got married in a church. And my brother Bennett was a newborn, and my brother Elias was a toddler, and he had just learned how to walk, and he started walking in shoes and everything. So he thought he was really hot stuff, and my parents did not have a great time at that wedding. Um, but I had a blast on the other hand. Uh, but I was the flower girl for their wedding. And I had always seen on movies that the flower girl, they're tossing the petals out of the basket, but they're like hopping around and dancing. So I decided, so the doors opened and I started jumping around and throwing the petals out. And then all of a sudden, I realized that it made the loudest sound ever in that quiet church. So I was like, I just froze. I was just standing there and I was like, oh boy. And then I saw everybody staring at me and I just went into shock. I'm just like, oh boy, everybody saw that. And I was just like, just keep walking. So then I basically like fast walked all the way to the pew by like throwing the pedals out at the same time. So yeah, that's my story on
Oh man, Gianna. I probably would have done something like that too. And now it's time to interview Julia.
Hello,
So, Julia, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
my name is Julia, and I have 5 siblings. Some of my hobbies are reading, crocheting, singing. Color by numbers are fun too.
Ooh, what do you like to sing?
I like singing any songs that I hear that are fun, mostly religious songs.
Yeah.
I hear a song that I like, I'll just try to memorize the lyrics and
Mhm.
sing it. I sing a lot with my sisters.
Oh, nice. Are you
Yeah.
like the oldest or the youngest, or like what side are you on in your family?
I am in the middle, so I'm the
Ooh,
third. Yeah, I'm the
okay.
third. 2 older sisters, 3 younger siblings.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And you said you like crocheting. What do you like to crochet?
I've crocheted some coasters, a hat for my sister, a couple things. I kind of got out of the habit of doing it, but I used to do that a lot.
I tried crocheting. I was too bad to do it. I could never make it.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, my mom crochets a lot and she's really good at it, but it just looks too hard for
Uh,
me.
it is pretty kind of hard to learn. Yeah.
What's your temperament?
I am choleric melancholic.
Okay. I don't know
Yeah.
that many clerics.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe melancholic's my first temperament. I don't really know very well, but yeah.
So, do you play an instrument at all? Because we know you sing, but we want to know if you play an instrument.
No, I don't. Not really. I started learning piano, but I'm not that good at it.
Yeah, piano's pretty hard.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, just singing. But yeah, I don't play an instrument really.
What's your least favorite subject and what's your favorite subject?
My favorite subject is like English or grammar. And my least favorite is science. I've never found that very exciting. It's really boring to me.
Yeah, science is pretty hard. What do you like about English and grammar?
I don't know. It's really neat to learn, I guess, all the parts of speed. It's really fun.
Yeah, my brothers hate English, but it's probably one of my favorite subjects.
Yeah, it's really fun.
So now we're wondering, do you speak any different languages at all?
No, I don't. Actually, I started learning French, but I can't speak it. That was a while ago and I stopped. But this year I'm going to be learning Latin in school.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
That'll be pretty fun.
Yeah, I hope so.
This is kind of a dumb question, but what's your favorite animal?
I've always liked lambs. They're really cute.
Oh,
I, yeah, I've never seen any in person actually, but they're really cute in pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not
I
really an
guess.
animal person. I'm not really an animal person or a pet person, so
Yeah.
yeah, we've never had any pets.
I mean, we have a dog. He's kind of a big dog, so he might like scare a lot of people away, but he's actually like very sociable. Like he loves getting attention from people. So when we have new people coming over, he just gets so excited and he will like try to jump on you, which might scare you too, but he just wants your attention. So yeah.
That
That's
sounds pretty
cute.
fun.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna kind of get into the religious questions. Who is your favorite saint and why?
Favorite saint is Saint Dymphna. I really like her story. I read it once, and she's a good example for teen girls, I guess. She was 15 when she died, um, killed by her father.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, she was really brave. I like her story.
Do you want to tell us a little bit more about her?
So her father, I guess, was a little insane. He wanted to marry her because his wife died.
Oh,
But she knew that was wrong, so she ran away with a priest and some friends. And so he chased after her and found her in a church and killed her at
oh,
15.
wow.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds horrible.
But yeah,
Yeah.
she's a good example though. I mean,
Hmm.
Yeah, really brave. Yeah.
what's your favorite religious book?
I like, well, the Saint Dimphna book that I read. Susan Peake is the author, and I love all of her books. She wrote my two favorites are King's Prey, which is Saint Dimphna one, and The Last Viking about Saint Magnus. The way she writes is really good. I just love her books. They're really exciting and adventurous, you know, almost like a novel, but it's about a saint. So it's really they're really fun.
I actually read the King's Prey book, or like I started reading it, but then I never finished it. I'm not a very good at finishing books, but I should definitely finish that. Yeah,
You
it
should,
does seem like a
yeah.
really good book.
So, do you have a favorite religious saying or quote?
I like the quote in St. Matthew, asking it shall be given you, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. I
Oh,
really like that
Yeah, that's a really good
quote.
one.
Yeah. Or St. Dominic Savio's death rather than sin. That was a promise that he made on his first communion. It's a short one, but I like that one.
Yeah, that one's
nice.
probably my favorite too. And that's
Yeah.
Gianna's little brother Elias's favorite.
Oh, that's fine.
So what is your favorite decade or mystery of the Rosary and why?
My favorite is the Assumption of Blessed Virgin Mary.
Mhm.
Uh, it's a really beautiful one, and I like how it says in a rosary meditation book that she dies not of bodily infirmity, but is wholly overcome in a rapture of divine love. It's really to think about, I guess.
Yeah, that is really neat to think about. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have that book too. But yeah, The Assumption's actually coming up really soon, as you all probably know. But yeah,
Yeah.
The
Yes.
Assumption's a really good one. And in that same book, I think it says like Jesus did not permit the body of his mother to be buried because like she was so perfect, so she got to go to heaven. Like
Mhm.
Right.
her whole body, not just her soul.
Yes. I love that one.
What's your favorite liturgical season and why?
I love Paschaltide. The whole time, Lent through Easter. All the ceremonies in Holy Week are really beautiful, like Holy
Mhm.
Saturday, Good Friday. Um, yeah, I love that time of year.
Mm-hmm. It's Lent's pretty hard because of all the fasting, but it's like
It is.
Gianna's little brother Eli said, it's really rewarding at the end when you're done with it.
Mhm.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and I love all the ceremonies during Holy Week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know some people give up stuff for Lent. Have you ever given up anything for Lent?
Yes, I do every year, but I always feel like I don't give it enough, or yeah, do silly little things. So yeah, not really hard.
Yeah.
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 I do that a lot too, where I feel like I don't give up enough and then I keep adding on to it. And then my mom's like, no, you can't add that much.
hmm
And then you can't do all of it. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
usually give up
exactly.
candy or something, but so I got diagnosed with celiacs last year. So
Oh,
we
sorry.
had Father Simpson over one time and he was like, "You know what you could give up for Lent, Annie? Why don't you just give up gluten?" And I was like, "That's genius. I'll just give up gluten." But obviously I didn't do that. Um,
No.
so what is your favorite religious holiday and why?
Christmas is probably my favorite. It's really beautiful and really joyful, and everyone's giving gifts and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And all the Christmas like songs are awesome, like Adeste Fidelis and O Come
I
Come
love all of
Emmanuel,
them.
Silent Night. Yeah, those are just so pretty.
Yeah, I love during Christmas time. I get to sing all the Christmas songs.
Are you homeschooled or do you like go to a private school or?
I've been homeschooled most of my life. Well, yeah, homeschooled, I guess, but we've done online private school a couple years. And then this year, I'm actually going to be going back in Queen of All Saints Academy online. I guess that's technically homeschool.
Okay, that's
That
Yeah.
cool.
sounds pretty fun. I've heard a little bit about their school and it sounds really nice.
I
Mhm.
love it. It's really nice. I guess people would say they're pretty strict, but I like that. A lot of homework though.
I mean, hey, homework's good, helps you learn, I guess.
It
Mhm.
is, yes. I love it. So I'm happy we're going back in.
Now we're wondering, are you a mission kid?
I am not actually. Our priest lives at our church. He's been there since like the 80s, I guess.
Oh, wow,
Uh,
okay.
yeah. We're far, like about 2 hours from there, but so we can't go every day. But he does mass every day, and yeah. So it's not a mission.
Do you want to tell us a little bit more about your church?
It's really tiny, cute church. Uh, there's so our priest, Father Zapp, lives there, and then like every other Sunday, he's there, and then Father Larrabee comes up from the other church. We have two churches here, and so they switch off doing mass every Sunday. Um, there's not a lot of people. Yeah, pretty small. We have a nice choir. There's high mass every Sunday, and my brother serves acolyte most of the Sundays.
Okay, that sounds fun. Does your church have a choir or anything?
Yes, you do. It is only men though,
Oh,
so I
okay.
can't sing in it. Yeah,
Oh,
it's really beautiful, but during Christmas time, the women sing in the choir. So I'll probably sing this year. We haven't been able to the other years.
so we know you have an older sister, who's going in the convent. What's that like?
Uh, a lot of different feelings about that. I always knew she would enter the convent. She was always pretty sure about that. We just didn't know when. Like one day we didn't know if it was going to be like next year, and then the next day she was like packing and getting ready to go. It was pretty quick. Uh,
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, she's going to the Sister St. Thomas Aquinas down in Florida, so it's really far. Um, it's really weird thinking that she won't ever live at our house again, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, but we only get to visit her uh, like a week out of the year, I think. I'm not sure about that one, but we get to do meetings once a month, and so you can kind of see her.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. She was like for sure, like she knew she wanted to be a nun? Like for how long do you know?
I think ever since she was little, she's always been pretty sure she wanted to go like 6, maybe. I don't know.
Oh,
She's
wow.
Wow.
wanted to enter the convent. Yeah.
That's pretty young to already know your vocation. I know it takes some people a little longer, but and then you have people like your sister who's like, I'm gonna be a nun, like who just
Yeah.
know right
Right.
away.
Yeah, it's really different. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Uh,
So now we have two more kind of fun questions that are also a little dumb. So we're wondering, what is your favorite dessert or treat?
I guess that would be ice cream. I
Ooh,
like ice cream. Yeah.
ice cream's really good. Do you have a favorite
Yeah.
flavor?
Any fruit flavor. I like raspberry or strawberry.
Ooh,
Those are always fun.
I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever had raspberry ice cream.
Like a raspberry swirl I've had once, or I don't know. Those are fun.
That sounds good. I should try that sometime. So, what's your favorite day of the week?
It always changes, but I've never really had a favorite day. I think right now it's Sunday, I guess. I like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunday, yeah.
I can't imagine anyone saying that their favorite day of the week is Monday,
No,
honestly.
yeah, that no way.
No.
Well, actually, I used my favorite day used to be Monday
Oh, really?
because
What?
the class that we had on Monday was really fun and out of all the other days of the week, so I don't know.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. I guess
okay.
that makes sense.
That would make
Yeah.
more
There's
sense.
always a
Yeah.
reason, not just Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, not just Monday. I mean, Monday's the start of the week, the work week, and it's like, eh.
Yep.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
you got to get up early. I guess you do.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I guess you have to get up early if you go to church early for Sundays, but
That's true.
Yeah, we have to get up about like 6 for us, but
wow.
Oh,
yeah. It's like a whole day out and then come back at 3. So it's kind of fun,
Yeah.
oh
out the whole
wow.
day.
Do you go to church every Sunday or just when you can make it?
Yes, we try to go every Sunday, except if
Okay.
there's something like snow or sick or
Yeah.
something.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's impressive to like it's a whole day trip and like you go every Sunday if you can make it. That's impressive.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
my family could do that. We have too many little kids. We would make it work, but
Yeah, it would be hard with little kids. Yeah, we're all older, like older than 8, so it's
okay.
easier for us.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps up our interview, Julia. Thank you so much for coming on. And do you
Thank
have
you for having
anything else
me.
to add before we let you go?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Yes. So that wraps up episode 5. Thank you guys so much for watching. And Gianna, what do we have coming up next episode?
Next episode we will be interviewing Holly from Catholic Family Podcast.
We're super excited about that.
Yes, and super nervous at the same time. But I hope you guys like it. We'll ask her some questions and she'll have a lot of great answers for it. So
And then make sure if you guys want to be in that little art challenge that you draw your picture of St. Philomena and then send it in to us at teensandfaith@gmail.com. We'll be super excited to see those.
yeah,
And yeah, so as always, St. Philomena,
powerful of God,
pray
pray
for us.